Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
We are learning more about two men arrested today for murder and robbery connected to a body found here in Lexington.
They were killed in a horrific Christmas Eve crash along with three other people. We'll show you how a couple is being honored nearly 2 years after their deaths. ESPN adds another option for UK fans wanting to see Big Blue Madness on television. WKYT News at 11 starts now.
Good evening and thanks for watching tonight. Lexington police have made two quick arrests in the city's latest murder, but the search for the clues not over with yet. This afternoon, police announced they still want to find these two people, Thomas Lucky and Teresa Jarrett. Police want to talk to them about a body found in an abandoned car wash on New Circle Road last night. WKYT's Derek Insko is tracking the search for them in our top story at 11.
The latest murder investigation here in Lexington is still ongoing. That's because police say they have arrested two men, but they're still looking for two persons of interest involving a body found at a car wash. The two men arrested are 29-year-old Joseph Sledge and 24-year-old Kavion Thomas, both charged with murder and robbery. But this is not their first run-in with police. Sledge has prior burglary and theft charges, and Thomas has been charged with assault in the past. With them both behind bars, Lexington police tell us they are focusing on two persons of interest, Teresa Jarrett and Thomas Lucky, who they say were in the area of the closed Premier car wash at the time of this murder.
Both these subjects, we believe, are homeless persons and do panhandling in the areas of Russell Cave, Broadway, and New Circle in those intersections.
It's an investigation that has taken a little more footwork for police, still canvassing the area as they work to find out more about what led up to this crime that left one man dead inside this building.
This one, there's some territories, some businesses that we want to walk behind. In the woods itself, there may be evidence, there may be other information, other individuals that may be hiding or observing, seeing what's going on, and we want to talk to.
For now, Lexington police are asking for your help, especially if you know the whereabouts of these two people. As for the arrest citations for Sledge and Thomas, they have not been filed here yet in district court. In Lexington, Jerica Insko, WKYT.
The coroner is still trying to notify the victim's family before his name is released. The victim's cause of death has not been released as well. Two people killed in a crash in Kentucky will be honored hundreds of miles away this weekend. The couple from Florida and two of their family members all died when a drunk driver hit their car. It happened shortly after they arrived back in Kentucky for a Christmas celebration in 2012. WKYT's Jordan Valines talked to the victim's brother and son about how their legacy will live on this weekend. The story is new at 11.
It's been nearly 2 years.
Christmas Eve 2012.
Since that one night.
They were on their way home from Lexington. My mom and dad had picked my sister and brother-in-law up at the airport in Lexington. They'd flown from Florida to Lexington. We were going to have Christmas in Harlan.
But Scott Caldwell's family never made it home.
They picked them up and were driving home and were hit and killed in Knox County, Kentucky by an impaired driver.
Scott's parents, Gary and Patricia Caldwell, along with his sister Julia and brother-in-law Brent, were killed in the crash. After months of mourning their deaths, Scott wanted to find a way to honor their lives.
The selfish acts, got my family killed. Let's do some selfless acts to help other people.
This weekend, a 5K will be held in Julia and Brent's memory in Bradenton, Florida, where the couple lived.
They wanted us to help people, and that's definitely what we want to try to do.
The proceeds will go to autism research and engineering scholarships, two things Julia and Brent Robinson were passionate about. Their contributions to those causes certain to be some of the things that the couple is remembered for the most.
My last memory of my sister and my brother-in-law. I want it to be things I've done to help other people in their name and their honor. That's what I'd like to see happen out of this more than anything else.
In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
If you'd like to donate to the Robinson Hearts and Minds Foundation, you can find more information on WKYT.com. A teenager injured in a school shooting was released from the hospital today. Police say another student shot Javante Burrows inside Fern Creek High in Louisville back on September 30th. He's been at University of Louisville Hospital since the shooting. He still needs about 6 to 8 weeks of recovery before he can go back to class. Police have arrested a Sunday school teacher suspected of sexually abusing a teenager in his class. Rex Murphy is charged with sodomy and sexual abuse. Murphy taught Sunday school at the Pollyann Church of Good in Pulaski County. Eubank police say Murphy tried to intimidate the victim with tales of witchcraft.
Victim stated that the suspect had told him on numerous occasions that just by brushing his skin or shaking his hand, he could tell his sins through a power that he has because he comes from a family of warlocks.
Police say that if Murphy is found guilty, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Twin brothers accused of sex crimes face more charges tonight. When Jack and Jerry Cassidy were arrested in August, Lexington police charged each of them with 3 counts. Since then, police say they've received tips about more crimes. And now a grand jury has indicted Jack Cassidy on a total of 8 charges and Jerry Cassidy on 9. Police say they found child pornography and logs detailing sexual abuse in their home at the time of their arrest. Police tell us their crimes date back to the 1970s when the brothers were scout leaders. Well, get used to the rainy weather we've had today. It's going to be sticking around for a little while longer. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here with an early check of the forecast. Chris?
Yes, Sam, showers on the move again across western Kentucky, and what is out to our west will be impacting our weather into the bluegrass region and points to the east over the next couple of days. The culprit on Live First Alert Defender is a big area of low pressure that is pinwheeling across parts of the St. Louis area. The squall line of showers and thunderstorms that came through here earlier well off to our east. It's all part of the same system that is a very slow mover. We have that low now into southern parts of Illinois, everything around it going counterclockwise. The problem with this is there's nothing really to move that along. So it's going to slowly work its way across the bluegrass state over the next couple of days. That slow moving system rolls in as we go through the day tomorrow, and that means an increase in showers as the day wears on. There's nothing out there across the region now, and I think we start out the day on a relatively dry note, so that is certainly some welcome news. Out the door, streets may be damp, small shower chance, right around 50 degrees in most areas. The deeper we get into the day, watch the showers begin to increase, and by the afternoon, showers may become fairly widespread as winds stay gusty. Ugly weather blowing in. Sam, we'll track it with the hour-by-hour forecast, but I'll get back in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Well, it wasn't rain, but snow on the agenda in the city of Lexington today. Streets and roads, public works, and the city council discussing the snow plan for this winter. City leaders say there's enough salt on hand for 2 snows and more will arrive next month. Cities around the country have struggled to stock up this year at an affordable price, but that's not the case here.
We do have, as in years past, a contract that assures us of a steady supply of salt at an actual really good price compared to market.
Other plans including adding more emergency route signs, adding extra equipment and staff, and using social media to better reach the public. A nurses union says a Texas hospital is to blame after a young nurse contracted Ebola from a patient. That accusation comes as the Centers for Disease Control say it should have handled the Ebola case diagnosis differently in the U.S. Adriana Diaz has the latest now from Dallas.
Doctors say Ebola patient Nina Pham is now in good condition at the Dallas hospital where she contracted the virus. As a nurse, Pham treated Thomas Eric Duncan, the nation's first fatality from Ebola. But exactly how Pham became infected remains a mystery. Federal health investigators have increased the number of hospital workers being monitored for symptoms.
At this point, the team has identified 76 individuals who might have had exposure to the index patient.
The CDC says it will now respond more quickly to each new Ebola case. It'll send an emergency response team to any U.S. hospital within hours of a confirmed diagnosis.
I wish we had put a team like this on the ground the day the first patient was diagnosed. That might have prevented this infection.
A national nurses union says that several unidentified nurses at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital told them the hospital was not prepared to handle Ebola cases and that lapses in protocol may have put people at risk. In a statement, the hospital responded, saying, quote, "We have numerous measures in place to provide a safe working environment, including mandatory annual training and a 24/7 hotline and other mechanisms that allow for anonymous reporting. We will continue to review and respond to any concerns raised by our nurses and all employees." Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Dallas.
The World Health Organization says more than 4,400 people have died of Ebola in West Africa. Even though there are no cases of Ebola in Lexington, first responders want to make sure they're ready just in case. If you call 911 to report an illness, dispatchers will now ask you a series of questions before sending someone to your home. If there's a chance you might have Ebola, first responders in special gear will come help you. You'll be taken to the hospital in a special ambulance outfitted with plastic drapes for extra protection. Firefighters say they have not had to use the ambulance yet. U.S. Senate candidate Allison Lonergan Grimes is out with some new fundraising numbers. Today, her campaign announced she's raised nearly $5 million for the final days leading up to the election. Both Grimes and Republican Senator Mitch McConnell have shattered state fundraising records throughout their campaigns. The Kentucky Horse Park has named a new executive director. Jamie Link will take over leadership of the park. He was deputy executive director of the park back in 2006 and chief executive officer for the 2010 World Equestrian Games. He's also held positions in state government and right now is Governor Beshear's deputy chief of staff. A start date for Mr. Link will be set later. It's been one of the most viewed stories on our website, and now ESPN is responding to fans unhappy with their coverage of Big Blue Madness. Today, ESPN said the SEC network will air a 1-hour recap show of Big Blue Madness at 11 Friday night. You can still watch Big Blue Madness in its entirety online at ESPN3. And for the first time in 20 years, no local television will broadcast Big Blue Madness. Clips and highlights of the event will be shown on ESPNU Friday night and on the SEC network at 9 p.m. President Obama meeting with defense chiefs of nearly 24 countries for support in defeating ISIS today. The U.S. wants Arab countries to deploy special forces against ISIS inside Syria. The terror group continues to capture more of Kobani, a town on Syria's border with Turkey. They also control nearly all of Iraq's Anbar province. The U.S. has brought new charges against a Libyan militant accused in the 2012 Benghazi attacks. The 18-count indictment adds multiple charges against Ahmed Abu Kahali. U.S. Special Forces captured him back in June. Prosecutors say he is the ringleader of the attack that killed U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans. The artists at a Whitley County tattoo parlor lent their talents to a good cause this week. Take a look. 8-year-old Darren Fuston has a rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And to help his family cover costs associated with his treatment, the folks at Your New Addiction Tattoos and Piercings offered free cancer ribbon tattoos Sunday and Monday. It's in exchange for a donation to Fuston's family.
It was just kind of took us by surprise, but we were grateful. I mean, we've had a lot of support from, local people around us, and every bit of help that we get is wonderful.
The shop raised more than $1,000 during the fundraiser. Fayette Mall is just weeks away from unveiling a whole new section of stores. The Cheesecake Factory is one of those businesses, replacing the former Sears store. It opens in 2 weeks from today. More than 30 new stores will also be added as part of the mall's grand reopening on November 7th.
So there's a lot of new shopping, especially for the holiday season. Stores like H&M, Vera Bradley, Oakley, Eddie Bauer. We have stores like Altered State and Swarovski, L'Occitane. The list keeps going.
Well, there's also a new parking lot and bus stop in the space where the Sears Auto location used to be. The mall still has 5 vacancies in the old Sears space, but says additional stores will be announced soon.